happy to sell you some merchandise. So, feel free to come buy some merchandise. But anyway, the story is not about racism. So that part of the speech is over. It's not about oppression. It's not about privilege. It's not about inequality. It's about something totally different. But I think the story has a lesson about those subjects. So it has to do with something that happened to me when I got out of college. I graduated 26 years ago this May from Tulane University in New Orleans. And when I graduated, for some reason, I thought it would be a really great idea to move into a very large house with 9 other people. Let me just give you a little life advice, all right? Like if you haven't already figured this out, okay, do not think for 1 minute that it is ever a good idea to move into a very large house with 9 other people. It usually is not nearly as fun as you think it is going to be. It has all kinds of problems, but we didn't think about any of those. We thought it was going to be great.
Welcome in.
Because it was going to be cheap. And we needed that because we were broke, right? We were right out of college. We didn't have much money. Rent was $525 a month. I don't mean per person, I mean total, right? So again, not good at math, but I can give those numbers. $52.50 per person per month. Man, you add the cable bill, the utility bills, you split the food, right? It's still less than $100 a month. So like on that level, this is a great idea, right? This is good. Right? $100 a month, man. Even at $1990, that was good. I mean, ridiculous today. It would be good even by 1990 standards. So on a financial level, it made sense. But about 6 weeks into the student experiment in communal living, we came to understand why it was a terrible mistake. And this is what happened. I was working downtown, and I'm living on the streetcar to come back uptown in New Orleans. I get off the streetcar, I walk 5 blocks or so into the house on Robert Street. I go up the steps of 1805 Robert. I open the door and I'm met by this incredible
Okay, so
I mean that in a good way.
y'all, we got some turkey, meatloaf. Well, not on my plate. I ain't got a meatloaf for mine. We got some turkey, dressing, chicken, macaroni and cheese, potato salad, yams, cabbage, vegetable salad.
Man, that's what you do in New Orleans. Big pot of gumbo, it smells good, and it looks good, and it even had shrimp in there. Not many, like I said, we were broke, but it had like 3. 3 of those really little bitty ass shrimp. Those shrimp that are like so small, like they make jumbo shrimp look like lobsters or something. Right? And so I looked at it, I smelled it, and I thought, man, that looks great. And when my roommate asked me if I wanted any, I normally would have said yes, but it turned out I didn't know he was going to make gumbo for the night. And so I'd already had dinner downtown before I came uptown after I got off work. So I said, hey man, I already ate it. Do me a favor. Smells great, looks great. Take this out, put it in the container, put it in the fridge. I'm going to take it to work tomorrow for lunch.
So what I have is...
He said, okay, great. And so he does that, and then I go upstairs.
Yes, I'm really hungry. I'm doing a mukbang for y'all.
Did whatever we did for fun in 1990. It wasn't much. Like social networking.
So what I have for y'all is turkey, dressing, chicken, potato salad, macaroni and cheese, yams, cabbage, vegetable salad.
So we all sort of go to bed early. I went to bed sort of early. Woke up the next morning at like 7:30. Came downstairs to get some coffee, get ready to go to work, and I noticed that on the left front burner of our stove was still the same pot of gumbo. Man, it did not smell as good or look as good as it had the night before. And my roommate had neither saved any of it for me, nor had he cleaned it. So I was pissed on 2 levels, right? Now the food had gone to waste. I definitely wasn't going to eat it. But he also left
vegetable salad.
Maybe one of the other roommates to clean. So I sat there and I thought about what I wanted to do. Part of me wanted to wake him up and get him to clean it, give him help for it. But then I thought, I'm going to be nice. I'm just going to clean it. I'll take it up with him when I get home. So I took a pot of gumbo and I brought it over to the sink. I got the brush and the soda. It's not going nowhere, but in the toilet after you eat it. A nasty day on gumbo, and I stopped myself halfway through. And I said, man, this isn't my mess. Let alone that I make it. So now I'm feeling really self-righteous because I'm talking myself out of doing hard work, right? Now I feel real smart. So I take the pot of gumbo.
I can't even say too much. I was going to explain the flavors and what's going on the plates, but I can't.
Somebody else's mess. So then I come back that night at about 6:15.
I'm too hungry.
And I see one of my other roommates making dinner on the right.
Thank you.
But on the left front, right where it had been now for 24 hours, the same pot of gumbo getting nastier more disgusting, more crusted on the
Them
sides.
sweet potatoes.
I looked at my roommate, I'm
No
like,
shot.
man, what are you doing? Like, I know you can smell dinner from last night. How the hell can you make dinner for us now on the right front burner when it's right under your nose? Why don't you clean that?
And that's
He
on
looked at me
period.
and said, hey man, I didn't make the gumbo. I didn't even eat any of the gumbo. I wasn't even here last night. How about you? I said,
You was
"Hey,
on my live yesterday.
now, we
Okay.
both got self-conscious. And
Period.
he looked at me and said, so, you want some lentils and rice? And I said, absolutely. So I piled up my plate with lentils and rice. I ate my dinner. I wiped off the dish in the sink, cleaned it, dried it, put it in the dish rack, went upstairs, hung out with the roommates, did whatever we do for fun in 1990. Once again, went to bed sort of early. Woke up the next morning. I'd forgotten to set an alarm. Wake up about 7. But here's a tip. If you're living in a house where a pot of gumbo has been sitting on the left front burner of the stove for what is now 36 and a half hours, you are not going to need an alarm clock to wake your ass up. You are going to be awake, right? Because the smell is going to find you. It is going to crawl out of the pot of gumbo on the legs that it grew overnight. And I'm not speaking in metaphor, English majors. I mean that shit literally. Like the stink is going to grow feet and legs, and it is going to crawl out of the pot, across the kitchen, across the living room, up the stairs, down the back hall, go under your door frame, and it is going to find with the precision of a laser that thing in the front of your face you call the nose that you will be awake. And now I was pissed. Because I knew what the smell meant, right? I knew what was waiting for me on the left front burner, having not been cleaned by anybody, least of all the guy that made the gumbo. So I opened my door real loud. I start stomping down the hall, hoping to wake people up, hoping to let them know just how displeased I am. Live with 9 other people, cannot find one of them. And the guy that made the gumbo is like, where's Waldo? Nobody knows where in the hell he went. He just made the gumbo like a practical joke and disappeared, right? Just wanted to see how long it would take for somebody else to clean up his mess, I guess. Get down to the bottom of the stairs. I look across the living room into the kitchen. I see the pot of gumbo, and I'm pretty confident the gumbo saw me, right? With the eyes that it had also grown. It was
Yeah, it's delicious.
right there in our kitchen very rapidly. And it was at that moment, not one moment earlier, but definitely not a moment later, that I came to understand maybe the most important lesson I've ever learned about any subject. And what was it? The lesson was it didn't really matter anymore who made the mess. It didn't really matter anymore who was the author of all this unpleasantness, as the old saying goes. The only thing that mattered was that I was tired of living in that nastiness. I was tired of living with the residue of somebody else's actions. I was not to blame, but I had to take responsibility, because if I didn't, it may not get clean. You see, and the same is true with human society. When we decide that we will clean up the residue of what other folks left us, even though they
Just
did it without
amazing.
our permission and without our involvement, when
That's
we
all I can
decide
say.
that we're tired of living in that, we will clean. Not because we are to blame, not because we are guilty, but because we're the only damn ones left. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate your time.
Welcome back to the channel. Just off the chin and see it has 2 more. The key ones is cursive. Now, amongst the key points that he talks about is ignoring system inequalities. And we use an example from different states, like the system wants you to know the inequalities, the systemic inequalities which are happening in the United States. And for the first time, the first thing is colorblindness dismisses the history and wrong systems of oppression that affect the people of color. Balance highlights how ignoring racial disparities in education, housing, employment, and criminal justice allow these inequalities to persist. For example, it gives examples like policies that seem race neutral, such as standardized tests or strict working laws. This unfortunately affects marginalized groups. Being colorblind would mean failing to recognize or address these outcomes. The second thing that you also talks about very quick besides it. So there's the discussion about race, because the United States and white people don't want to discuss about race, because I feel like they feel like it's good. I don't know if it's good or something, but they don't want to talk about race. They don't understand that Collins emphasizes the colorblind discourages discussions about race by framing them as division or unnecessary. But avoiding conversations about race prevents the economic race. all from racial
Hi, everybody.
and the opportunity to find solutions. Everybody is like saying, if you don't see kind of, you can see the consequences of kind in society. And I think that's the point because otherwise the society is embedded with racism, the pain and the sorrow, the deeper racism that black people of color in the United States are not through. It's something that I feel like we need to talk about because I feel like it's a part. This is an important aspect of the history that I think people should be talking about. The topic that I'm going to be addressing is environmental lived experiences. Now, by claiming not to see race, blame the validates the lived experiences of people who face racism. Who face racism again, of course, it suggests that there's travel by imaginary or exaggerated, which once describes as awareness means the voices of the imaginary. True, of course, true. The topic that I would like to talk about is prismatic white privilege. Blindness complaints that colorblindness often serves as a way to preserve white privilege without acknowledging it. If race is invisible, so is privilege. There is no need to address cultural advantages that white people have enjoyed. Incidents that colorblindness enables white individuals to avoid confronting their role in racial inequalities. Right? Because even if we as an example, we cannot also understand the consequences that it comes with. The problem that it also comes with. Because we are trying to ignore this problem with its implications, with its effects that it comes with. And we try to wrap it all and just say that, no, there's nothing which is happening. Right? Now, the thing that I'm going to talk about is this interpreting Martin Luther King Jr. vision. Now, King Lines, the kids are advocates of color blindness, often they support Martin Luther King Jr., particularly his I have a dream speech.